Hi Taurus, welcome to your monthly tarot reading with me, Raphael Ray from Radiant Reality for the month of June. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, make sure you check out your Uranus in Taurus special, which is your sign, especially if you are a sun or ascendant Taurian. It's going to be really, really important for you. There's card pulling, there's astrology, there's a whole mishmash of stuff, and it's, you know, it's long predictions that I've made, so enjoy that. Totally enjoy that. I would like to bless both of the decks that I'm about to use with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So your actions and your interactions with the world at large this month, Taurus, the month of June. Okay, so you've got the Judgment card. So this is interesting because the Judgment card says to me, firstly, it always precedes change. The Judgment card, when the Judgment card shows up, you can guarantee that there are big changes to be made. You can guarantee that there are big changes that will take place. However, when I see the Judgment card, the changes always take place once you have taken, or you've had either a blast from the past, or you've taken a trip down memory lane. And because this falls in your actions and your interactions with the world at large this month, it says to me that you will be taking a trip down memory lane. You will physically be going to places that you have either lived, places that you love, places that you have, you know, somewhere that you grew up. It's all these kind of things. It could be all of the above, or it could just be one of the above, but you are definitely actually going somewhere that is a part of your past, that is a part of what shaped you into the person that you are today. So the Judgment card is, you know, like I said, it's a blast from the past. So it might be that while you're taking your trip down Judgment lane, that's quite an interesting Freudian slip, isn't it? While you're taking your trip down memory lane, it may well be that you bump into somebody from your past that really starts to make you think about your present. More importantly, starts to make you think about your future. This could be interaction with old friends. This could be interactions with exes. This could be interactions with old work colleagues. It's all of that stuff. It's all of the things that you've done, all of the places that you've been, coming back for a revisit. It's like they're coming back to remind you of the things and the people and the experiences that have shaped you into who you are. And I kind of feel that this one's going to be really relevant. I also feel that the month of June is going to be really quick for everybody. It's going to be like snap your fingers and it's like, shit, the month's over already. You know, the Judgment card is a really interesting one. Like I said, it always precedes change. This is ruled by the sign of Sagittarius. It's one of the other cards that's ruled by Sagittarius, and it's a fire card in the fire sector. So this gives you a lot of energy, a lot of passion and a lot of drive this month. And it also means that you will be looking to ascribe meaning to the events that take place this month, especially ones where you're running into old friends, colleagues, all the rest of it. It's going to really make you think about where you are in your life now and where you want to be in your life going forward. So your money and your materials. The Hanged Man, interesting. So the Hanged Man represents the sign of Pisces. Interesting as well, because this is out of, you know, the 5 cards, straight away you've got 2 major cards, which means there'll be a lot of fated events taking place for you. And when I say fated events, people always say like, ooh, you know, it's not. I always believe that we have fate and free will, not fate versus free will. And what I mean by that is some events are going to take place in your life. No matter what you do to get there or where you go after, that is where your free will kicks in. It's kind of like, as an example, for every person, say the heavens say, right, these specific 4 events are going to take place in your life. How you get there and where you go from there is none of my business. That's where your free will kicks in and takes over. But these 4 events are going to happen, whatever twists and turns you take. And those events that are fated, that the universe hands you, are usually for your soul's own personal growth. So when I see the Hanged Man, I always say to people, this is about enlightenment, firstly, but it's also about allowing things to happen as they are. And it, you know, when I see this card, what I always say is, what's the best way to get what you want? Sometimes the best way to get what you want is to sit and do nothing and allow it to come to you. So your money and your materials this month are having a bit of a Piscean. You know, if you want more money, if you want more finances, if you want more abundance, how can you let go of the feeling of grabbing at it and just allow it to come to you? It also says that there will be opportunities that present themselves to you. And providing you can just go with the energy of where you're at the moment, you won't push them away or block them through trying to grab at everything else. You know, this card kind of says to me that in terms of your money and your materials, you need to let those things come to you this month, because you will have the opportunity to have them, to have abundance, to have growth. And all you have to do is just kind of allow them to come into your life. And that way you can be selective about the things that you do take on board or that you do let into your life. Interesting as well, because when you see these two cards in conjunction, so Blast from the Past, going down memory lane, the Hanged Man, allowing things to happen. Don't freak out if you find yourself running into old people, old colleagues, old friends, old exes, all of that stuff. This is not the month to freak out. Just let it happen and see how you feel about the experience. When you look at the halo around his head on the Hanged Man, that's his ability just to say, right, okay, I'm just gonna, you know, he becomes enlightened through his acceptance, through his ability just to say, okay, it is what it is and it will happen how it happens. So your interactions with the world at large, your communications this month, what do they have to say for you? The Hermit card, look at this, 3 major cards out of the, and this I think has probably got something deeply to do with the Uranus in Taurus energy, because it's a massive shift. It's going to be there for 7 years in your sign, and it's going to change so much. It's, look into the video, you know, they're up there, watch it, see what it means to, for and with you and how it sits. So the Hermit card in your communications, now this is interesting, given the stuff that's taken place, a part of you is going to want to stay silent this month. A part of you is going to be like, right, I'm just going to withdraw myself. I'm going to be a bit of a hermit. I'm going to close myself off to the world. You know, I want to be alone. Sorry, I always laugh about that. If you haven't seen it, there's a film called Death Becomes Her. Actually, it's really interesting that this has come up for me, you know, and I've just brought that up. Watch that film, because it will have some gems in it in terms of this stuff, you know, where we start our journey, where we end up, and the things that happen to us on the way. The Hermit represents the journey, it represents the quest, and this will be the month where you find yourself wanting to withdraw, wanting to, you know, maybe not interact with the world so much, you know, where you feel like you don't have anything to say, and if you do have something to say, you don't really want to say it to anybody, you just want to keep it for yourself. This isn't going to be the month that you can do that. This isn't going to be, you know, you're going to have to go with what takes place. You're going to have to go with what and who turns up in your life that you feel like you'd already done. And if you can use the Hermit energy, which represents the sign of Virgo, so picking out the gems, because Virgo's the digestive system. What does your digestive system do? It takes all food in and it pulls out the nutrients and the minerals and the this and the that, and then it just leaves the crap behind. You know, this is what you're going to be taught from your past. This is what you're going to be taught from the interactions with people and things and experiences from your past. You know, and your communication, fair enough, it might be few and far between. You know, I'm reminded of the trees in Lord of the Rings. You know, we don't say anything because it takes such a long time to say anything, and that's why we always make sure that if we are going to say anything, we make sure that what we're about to say is truly worth saying. And if that's the energy that you feel to exhibit and to express this month, brilliant, absolutely great. Just know that as much as you feel like you might want to withdraw from the world and have an experience of being alone as opposed to being lonely, You don't have that luxury. You know, there will be people in your vicinity. There will be a lot of stimulus, a lot of interaction. There will be a lot of, you know, there's going to be a lot of commerce this month. And it's going to be down to you to take the journey through your past and decide what you've learnt from it, what you can take forward with you, and what is truly important for you now. And, you know, what is it that you've experienced that shaped and honed you that you can apply to what's happening now in your life. You know, some things, a lot of things actually in life are transferable. And then finally, your heart and your hearth, your personal and intimate relationships. You know, this could be family and friends as well as lovers and partners. You get the Strength card. So look at that. You got 4 major cards out of four potentialities. There's 78 cards in a deck, you know, and there's only 22 majors. So you do the math. You know, when these cards show up, they're usually the bigger experiences of life. And for me, these are the events that the universe gives you so that you can continue to grow. And I said that at 11 minutes 11, so there's obviously some kind of message in that. Anyway, so the Strength card here in your heart and half, for those of you that are coupled, this is about not being afraid to be vulnerable. This is about not being afraid to be on your own. And this is not being afraid to withdraw from that. You know, and like I said, you won't have the chance because a lot of this stuff's going to be thrust on you. You're going to be forced to interact. But it's about finding the courage to say, look, okay, you know what? I get that I have to be there. I get that I have to interact. But at the moment, what I could really do with is just some alone time. You know, it's not saying that you can't be alone at all this month. It's not saying that you can't have that experience, because of course you can. You're a human being and, you know, you have free will. That's the whole point. Like I said, fate and free will, not fate versus free will. But, you know, it's not going to be something that you can have all of the time this month. So the Strength card represents, you know, the heart. It represents taming your heart and taming your emotions and using that emotional energy as a strength, as a power. You know, and Taurus isn't necessarily one of the things or one of the signs that you associate with feelings and, you know, all that stuff, because you're so grounded and practical and earthy and sensual. People tend to see you as that and maybe even a little bit, you know, closed off when it comes to feelings. This isn't the case. And if you need time to sort those feelings out and you need time to process those so that you can continue being your amazing self in your relationship, then do so. For those of you that are single, this is about demonstrating the best attributes that you have and saying to all potential suitors, of which there will be many, and for some of you this will be an ex, you know, of saying, I know what I bring to the table. I know what I'm worth. I know what I have. I know what I have to offer. And these will be the things and the attributes that you will be getting when you get me. And that's okay, you know, it really is okay. For familial relationships, it kind of says that a lot of people will be seeking your advice this month. A lot of people will be looking at you and thinking, oh, you know, you do this really well. You know, can you teach me? Can you share some secrets? Because the other thing about the Hermit is it's not just a quest that you take for yourself. It's actually a teacher. You know, the Hermit is a wise person, somebody that has taken the time to really sift through everything that they've experienced to, you know, to have a template of things that they can teach people. Finally, your key to the month. You have the Hierophant. Now that's really interesting because the Hierophant actually is your card. It's the sign of Taurus. So look at this. You have 4 major cards and then you get your own card as your key to the month. This month is about you, Taurus. This month is about you owning yourself. It's about knowing your power. It's about knowing your strength. It's about knowing who you are and remembering that no matter what, who or how has gone into shaping the being that you are always who you are, no matter how much you appear to have changed. So if you find yourself digging for the, you know, oh, I wish I could go back to the way that I used to be, you are the way that you used to be. You've just got extra layers and different tools in your bag to draw from. This is a really, really powerful month of self-realization for Taurus. And with the current transit, you know, Uranus moved into your sign on the 15th. This gives you the chance to really learn about yourself in ways and forms that I just can't tell you at the moment, because it's going to be experiential. This is going to be a really amazing month for you. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. If you feel if you feel that the video has helped you in some way, shape or form, feel free to donate. We would love you forever for it. Taurus, I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance itself. The other thing about the Hierophant card as a closing off is it represents being initiated, because it represents the status quo. So it represents society at large, you know, it represents the Orthodox Church, it represents banks, it's all of those things that are official. This, for me, especially with the surrounding cards, this is about you owning yourself and becoming the authority in your own life. Not necessarily for a job or for anything else. This is about truly owning yourself and just saying, you know what, this is me and this is what I bring to the world. Own it, live it, love it and breathe it. After all, it's only you, it's all you. And you can't be afraid of that, ever. Take care, see you soon.